from your perspective? What's an upfront contract?
Well, number one, I think this is one of the most critical things that you can implement in any conversation or meeting that you have. It's setting expectations, really. Just really setting the ground rules for any conversation.
Yeah. Ground rules is a big part of it. And another way to word that, as I have at my first point, is eliminating mutual mystification. Here's what mutual mystification is. And there's a lot of it that happens in the sales process. Here's an example. A prospect's thinking, hey, you're coming to visit me in the first meeting. You're going to show up. You're going to do your pitch. And at the end, I'll probably tell you I want to think it over. But you'll talk most of the time. I'll just listen. I'll hang back there. I'll listen to your pitch. And it'll be like a 5-minute meeting, maybe 10. On the flip side, the salesperson is thinking something different. The salesperson is thinking, I'm going to go and do needs analysis or pain discovery. I'm going to ask questions. I want 70-30 to happen. So I really would like them to talk most of the time. I'm not bringing my canned feature benefit presentation in. We're going to make it a conversation to better determine how I can help them. So we go into the meeting, the prospect's thinking, quick meeting, you talk, you do your features and benefits. Salesperson's thinking the opposite. We call that mutual mystification. We both have something called meeting in our Outlook calendar, but we have different definitions of what meeting means. So Sandler, a big part of it for Tiffany said, I think it's one of these like just these genius pieces of it. It's about how do we eliminate mutual mystification? So at the beginning of a meeting, we cover things like time, purpose, their agenda, our agenda, and outcomes. Those are the 5 elements of an upfront contract. We have 2 of the 12 workshops focused on upfront contracts. This is how important it is. We only have 2 topics where we do 2 workshops on it. This is one of them. We are going to do a super deep dive into this coming up in 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it is on the calendar. So let me just give you one, and I want you to listen to what I'm saying here, right? Okay, so this will be an example of me just getting put on the spot doing an upfront contract. So I might say, hey, Aaron, it's good to be invited in today. Hey, before we get started, set a quick agenda for today's meeting. Make sure we're on the same page. Aaron says, yeah. So, well, you know, I know we talked about 45 minutes on the phone. Is that still where we're at? Okay, if he says yes, we're on. If he says no, there's a change, we deal with it. I say, you know, Aaron, and you know, in our time together today, I mean, the purpose of this first meeting, I know, is for us to better determine, are some of the issues you're having in your company some things we could help you with at Sandler? And at this point, I'm not sure we would be the right fit. I'm just taking a time out to write that. It's important to say that. At this point, Aaron, I'm not sure we're the right fit, but hopefully we can figure that out today. Now, from your perspective, you probably want to know a little bit more about Sandler and what we do, our programs. But Aaron, anything else you want to make sure we cover? And if he says, yeah, I want you tell me about, you know, your work with account managers. Okay, great. Let me write that down. We'll get to that. And from my perspective, Aaron, I would like to ask you some questions today. Better understand your business, because at this point we have so many things at Sandler I could recommend, but it doesn't all fit. So I want to better understand what your issues are. So I only recommend those things that are appropriate. Don't want to waste your time talking about things that aren't. So you okay if I ask you some questions about your sales team, where your sales are, what some of your biggest challenges are? He says, yeah. So, okay, great. And at the end of today's meeting, 1 of 2 things could happen. One could be is that we get to the end of the meeting, we decide, you know, we had a good conversation, but there's really not a fit here. If that's the case, at least we explored it, we'll part friends. It's okay to tell me no at the end. You're feeling like it's not a fit. And I'll do the same with you. We're not the right fit for everybody. He says, okay. And I said, the other thing that could happen is we might determine that there's a potential fit. If that's the case, we most likely get our calendars out, schedule a second meeting. We might even schedule a meeting with our technical people. You know, everyone getting together, get some of your people together and my people, and we sit down and we really map things out. But we'll figure that out today. So today's either we have a second meeting or not. Does that make sense?